Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on StreamYard and YouTube.com. It is your little Myth, Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Florio, Dee Woodson, and Michael Bullock. We're not going to waste much time, guys. We're just going to dive right on in. Smackdown live here tonight from the Little Caesars Arena in Motown, Detroit, Michigan, the Motor City. So we started it off with Daniel Bryan cutting a promo, then was interrupted by Baron Corbin or King Corbin. Then Roman Reigns music hits. Yeah. So all of a sudden, Reigns jumped out and basically got some of Corbin. So what does that mean? What happened? We don't know. All we know is that because of what Roman did, ladies and gentlemen, Corbin out. We got ourselves a one-on-one for the right to go to Royal Rumble. So, all right. So let's dive right into this. Let's jump it off. Good segment. Good talking segment by Daniel Bryan. I don't mind it. Corbin comes out, trying to play his little game, talking about how said that Bryan's the nice guy, but is no longer championship material. Much like The Miz, he plays an action hero in movies, but is not really a hero. Before he could even go any further, the big dog showed up, and let's just say, well, drive-by Superman punch. Bye-bye, Corbin. Much to the delay of Anthony Florio, much to the delay of Dee Woodson, much to the delay of Michael Bullock, King Bleepface got what he deserved. Well, we thought he got what he deserved, but that remains to be seen later in the night. So, with that said, solid opener. Anthony Florio, I give it to you.
I think we lost Florio.
Oh, all right. Wow, that stinks. I don't know what happened there. Oh, here we go. We got Anthony back. All right. Florio, go ahead. I don't know what happened. It's all yours.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Okay, good. All right. Bad connection as usual, so just trying my best here. But anyways, all right. MF, I hate to do this to you, but I got to be the man who tells it like it is here. This show tonight, there were a lot of problems with this show, and this was far and away the biggest problem of them all. I mean, I understand they wanted to advance the Roman and Corbin angle. I can get that, but honestly, I mean, okay, maybe it was an interesting way to open up the show, but Corbin's promos are becoming insanely monotonous. But thankfully, this one didn't take up too much time. Roman's interference garnered a nice reaction from the crowd, and it seems they enjoyed seeing him send Corbin packing. I dislike the way they rely heavily on this chaos, though. There was no real official decision to postpone the match to later in the night or reschedule it altogether. Someone interfered prior to the bell, so now, by WWE logic, it was just assumed that the match could no longer take place at the given time. It happens too frequently. So, I don't know. But nonetheless, it was an interesting way to open up the show, but, I hated the chaotic booking. I really did not like that. I mean, it really took a lot away from this show here tonight. So that's all I can say on it. Michael Bullock, come on in. So we had our SmackDown chat this evening. So just in case you're all wondering. So yeah, Bullock, this was an interesting way to start the show. I mean, we were excited. We thought they were actually going to start it with the main event, but honestly, going in, I smelled a rat all along. I really did.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they pulled the rug out of underneath us. I mean, when Daniel Bryan came out, we all thought it was gonna they were going to kick it off in a big way with the main event, but no, all we got was Corbin running his freaking mouth, yada yada yada. What else is new? But it may have not ran too long with this promo, but either way, I mean, you got to agree, it's just flat out boring. I mean, I just hate his promos. It just reeks. I mean, a nice reaction for when Roman came out and stopped him. So, yeah, unfortunately, I mean, this show was, well, it's not going to get a positive review, and it'll show when we get to our overall review. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you too.
I've been having issues. I had to get a new computer over the holiday, and so this is the first time I've set it up for this, so I'm hoping things will work out. All right. It was a very interesting way to start the show tonight. For one, having Elias singing before even the opening was really kind of bizarre, but then you have them teasing the big match for the night, and of course having Roman interrupt it. It was weird. I mean, it should not have been such a big deal as it was. Even Kevin told me tonight, he goes, this is going to be a heavy Corbin show, and it was a very heavy Corbin show. So yeah, not the best way to open the show, but storyline progression it did have. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, guys. So then, right after that, we dive into the first 6-man tag team fight. The New Day and Braun Strowman goes up against the team of Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro. And when it was all said and done, it was the team of the New Day and Braun Strowman winning the match. And yes, we do have a championship committee moment that happened. Strowman pinned Nakamura. Uh-oh. You know what that means. The roar.
Moment.
Yep. The roar. Braun now might get a shot at the Intercontinental title, and oh God, if he gets the belt. So Anthony Florio, it's all yours. I could already see you snickering.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest here. This was one of the few bright spots, and I mean very few bright spots on this throwaway show tonight. I could probably call you can make an argument for fight of the night on this one. I would probably maybe give it about 3.25, 3.5 stars for the effort. The last few chaotic minutes were fun, and as is normally the case with WWE TV tag matches, there was too much reliance on the extended beatdown of the babyface leading to the hot tag. I know it is a tried and true formula, but at times they take it to an extreme, and this was one of those scenarios. Kofi got beat down mercilessly for several minutes of the match's 12-minute runtime, which also included a commercial break. But Strowman's hot tag was certainly over with the crowd, though. And here you go. Yes, MF, championship committee moment, absolutely. There's no question about it. We are going to see Braun Strowman challenge Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. My guess is they're probably going to save it for the Royal Rumble. But then again, they could do it on a future SmackDown. I don't know, but I would rather do it at the Royal Rumble. Do it on a big stage, one of the 4 biggest stages in WWE in a calendar year. And given the grand stage that it's going to be, considering it's going to be at Minute Maid Park in Houston, I mean, I can't think of a bigger venue than that. So So that's all I can say on that. It will happen. I say do it at the Rumble. If you don't have room for it on the main card, do it on the kickoff show. But then again, I would rather have it on the main card because these two guys deserve to be on the main card and not on some dang kickoff show. So, and I think once that match goes down, MF, you want to know why I was snickering? I'll tell you why I was snickering. We all know, it's well documented, you're a Shinsuke Nakamura mark. That's all there is to it. MF is one of the biggest Nakamura marks that we know. Going back to his New Japan days, I get all that. But I hate to break it to you, big boy, but I think when and if Strowman gets his shot at Nakamura, Nakamura's son is going to get these hands, and we're going to have a brand new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman.
I mean, we've been preaching for Strowman to get a title for a long time now.
A singles title.
I mean, yeah, he was a tag champion. I know. Nod, wink, wink. It was a little bit of a campy title reign.
Yes, it was.
But he hasn't gotten an opportunity to win the big belt yet. But imagine Braun, Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion.
I don't just imagine it. I can see it.
I mean, we talk about the lineage of the Intercontinental title for the longest time.
Yes.
What a representation.
Oh, yeah.
If it goes to Braun.
That freak, he's gonna hold on to it as long as he wants to.
Yeah.
That's all there is to say on it. He could probably hold it longer than Nakamura's had it.
Could.
Nakamura's had it since Extreme Rules kickoff when he knocked off Balor in the Yellow Delph back in the summer. So that's been a good 5.5 or so months. So he'll probably make it to 6+ months. But whenever it is, MF, whether it's on a future SmackDown or at the Royal Rumble, which I think it's going to be, Nakamura's son, your run's going to end. And the Monster Among Men is going to be the brand new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. And, not too many big men have held it. I mean, only big men like the Big Show and Ezekiel Jackson and a handful of other big men. The average champion has been, like a Nakamura, like an average built man. But it's not too often we get a big man holding that belt. But you put it on Strowman, maybe, just maybe, he could bring some prestige back to it, even though we have a new belt that was unveiled recently, which is beautiful. That's all I know. So that's all I can say on that. But this was about 3.25 stars worth of match here. You can make an argument for our fight of the night, but it was definitely one of the very few bright spots on this throwaway edition of Friday Night SmackDown tonight. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. Championship committee moment. Braun Strowman pins Nakamura. Braun Strowman, no doubt about it, is going to get a future Intercontinental Heavyweight title opportunity. I think it's going to be at the Royal Rumble. So, Bullock, what says you on that?
I say it is going to go down at the Royal Rumble. The thing is, guys, we've been wanting Braun Strowman to have any kind of time. That tag team title was a campy comedy thing, but we want to see him finally get a singles title. We kept hoping that it would be the Universal title, but that never happened. And then, but if I can't think of a first singles title for him, it would be the Intercontinental Championship. And then if he gets it, it would be, he would join an elite list of superstars that have held the Intercontinental title. I could go on and on with the list, but you guys would know it by now, so I'm not going to waste your time with all that, because we all know within ourselves of that long list. But yeah, I think it's going to go down at the Royal Rumble, and I really hope they do it on the main show and not on the kickoff, because it would be a major disservice to that precious title. That's just my personal opinion on it. But as far as the match goes, I'll give it about 3.25, 3.5. I do agree on that. So nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree with the rating, and yeah, if they do put him up for the title that he's been asking for, the match with Nakamura, then yeah, it should be on the main card. I don't think it's right for them to put the champions on the pre-show. Put the other matches that aren't championship matches on the pre-show that don't have much storyline build-up or anything behind them is what we're getting with these. So yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say on it. So it was a good match. So yeah, not much else I'm gonna say. Cheers, Fletch.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, championship committee moment, 3 stars, no doubt about it. I'll agree with everything you guys have said up to that point. So, yeah, we're just gonna let it go and we're gonna move on. Unfortunately, this is the part of the show where, yes, cutouts will be recommended here. So, first up, this was supposed to have been the match. Well, actually, no. Then we had Carmella versus Mandy Rose. Carmella wins the match in 3 minutes and 20 seconds with a super kick for the 1, 2, 3. It kind of an interesting development. Sonya Deville promised that she was going to be at ringside with Mandy, but was not there. And kind of a little more of the thing between Otis and Mandy Rose going on. I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens there. Lovers quarrel, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing is, Fletch. I mean, Florio and I talked about this during our chat tonight. We said we thought that there could be some friction within Fire and Desire. I mean,
I think so too. Especially,
I
think this Otis thing is causing a little bit of the mayhem. I can't believe it, but the big guy, Nelly, he might be a big rock that might be causing a split of Fire and Desire. I don't know. Is it possible Mandy might be going face?
I think so.
With Sonya going heel?
I think so. I mean, she seems to kind of really start to like an Otis, while Sonya Deville, on the other hand, well,
doesn't really care much about him.
Disapproves of it, and and I think we could be on the way to seeing a breakup of Fire and Desire, and who knows, maybe a face turn for Mandy could do her wonders somewhere down the line.
Could it be possible that she might become like maybe a manager for Heavy Machinery?
Well, it's possible.
It's possible.
We'll just have to wait and see. But
I'm not going to waste too much more time. I'd rather just move on. We got a lot to talk about.
But in short, I think Fire and Desire is on its way for a breakup.
Okay, very well. Next up we had was Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. This was a one-on-one match. Winner was going to go to the Royal Rumble for the Universal title. Fight gets thrown out. 2 minutes, 35 seconds. Corbin's security hits the ring and jumps both men. Obvious NA. We don't need to talk about this. Basically, Corbin is okay. It seems like he's back, good to go. So we're going to have the triple threat later in the night. We're not going to wash over that. We're just going to let it be. Next up we had was a moment of bliss. That was it. That had special guests. Bliss let Cross introduce Lacey Evans. And then, so once they started, then they talk about the incident. As many of you guys saw last week, during the match, let's just say Sasha Banks and Lacey Evans beautiful 6-year-old daughter kind of got into a little bit of a brush up. Well, Lacey's like, you know what? There's certain things in life that you just don't do. And for her to mock her daughter, poke fun at her, that's a line you don't cross. Look, I don't have kids. I can't vouch for this. I know Dee Dee Woodson, you definitely are the mother hen of the group. So I know you probably are siding with Lacey on this one, 1,000%.
Oh yeah, you don't cross the mama bear, and that's exactly what she said. You
So,
don't cross mama bear, and that's her little cub. So you cross the line, you gonna get it.
and I love the southern twang there of you're going to get it, because that's it almost that would be something Lacey would probably say. And Dee Dee, I know you're originally from Oklahoma, now living in Ohio, so but you still got a little bit of that southern twang inside of you. I felt it just now.
Yeah. Well, see, my mom was from Texas. My dad was from Oklahoma. I was raised in Oklahoma, so I've got the Texas Oklahoma accent. So yeah, it shows.
Hey, it's fine. It's fine. For me, Florio, and myself, we're all Rhode Islanders, so you can get a little bit of the Bostonian, but very rare you hear us go Boston.
You hear the Boston with Derek.
Yeah, Derek has more of the Boston inside of him, but yeah, for us,
I hear a little bit of New York in you.
Well, because that's kind of more on my side of the family. So yeah, you could probably say I got a little bit of the New York, probably more of the Brooklyn, New York side. So
yeah.
nothing more to say about that. Then it led into a tag team fight. The Boston Hug Connection, Sasha Banks and Bayley goes up against Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke, and it ended with Sasha Banks and Bayley winning the match in 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So, Mike Bullock, give me your thoughts on the match.
Well, first off, Fletch, it's a good thing Sasha and Bayley aren't here, because if they heard you say Boston Hug Connection, well, they'll probably give you the business, if you know what I mean.
Like I give a damn.
And you know what? I'd side with you, Fletch. I said, you know what? Who gives a damn about what they think? But yeah, and yeah, yeah. As far as that promo, Fletch, I mean, and you know what? I have 3 cousins who have kids of their own, and I love them like they're my own children. And I'll tell you this right now: if anybody were to mock or do something like Sasha Banks did last week, I would defend the honor of them, because that's the kind of person of who I am. I mean, if you want to trash talk me, or in the case with Lacey Evans, that's fine. But when you bring family into this, no. That's where I go into phenom mode. And trust me, you cross my family, you don't want to see me in phenom mode. I mean, Fletch and Florio have seen me like that, and it's not good. So, but as far as the match goes, it was short, but I'll give it about maybe 1.5, maybe 2 for the effort here. But yeah, I mean, I was really hoping for a Lacey Evans victory, where we would get a championship committee moment, where hopefully that Lacey would get an opportunity at the SmackDown Women's title. But Sasha Banks pretty much put a kibosh on all that. So yeah, that's like Sasha Banks' way of saying, sorry people, you ain't getting no championship committee moment, because Bayley's gonna be champion as long as she wants. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, boys, she's going to get her opportunity. When? Who knows? So I really got nothing more to say. Dee Dee Whitson, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a pretty good match. You know, Lacey seems to be getting a little bit better in the face department. Yeah, she just she seems like when she's trying to be a heel, she's a little more forcing that side to come out, kind of like Bailey's doing right now. She's kind of forcing herself to be the heel when that's it doesn't feel right. And of course, with Bailey, we know she's got the talent. She can do the matches. She can win. But lately, as long as Sasha's there, she's got her insurance policy, and those matches aren't worth 2 cents when you have somebody like that. And it's just it's not worth it to go into all that kind of stuff where you're have to have some idiot out there standing next to you, no matter if it's your best friend or a manager or what. You want to go out there on your own merits, and you want to prove that you can do it on your own and not with the help of whoever. And I harp on this all the time with several different groups or whatever on the matches. So yeah, but this one I'm going to give it about 2 3/4 of a star. It was good. It was entertaining. The ladies, they did a good job. And them ending, the moment of bliss with Lacey in the ring, and then Banks and Bailey bringing out Dana Brooks. It was a good way to build the heat to start this match. So yeah, the heat was already built with Lacey. It just went 2 or 3 steps higher with that. So this was definitely a good match. So not much more I'm going to say. It's yours, Fletch.
I can't disagree with that. I think it was a 2.5 star fight. It was a decent match for what it was worth. I think we all were hoping for something a little better, but I thought the segment was fine. I thought the match was all right. There's really nothing more to add there, so we're just gonna let Anthony Floyo take it over. So Anthony, it's yours.
Yes, 2 to 2.5 stars for the match. Absolutely. I'm right there with you. I mean, I too have a big problem with with champions. If champions have flunkies or what have you, it shouldn't matter. As long as you're the champion, you got to find a way to win it on your own. And let me tell you, if it was me, I don't care if I was a baby face. I don't care if I was a heel. Honest to goodness, no matter what side of the coin I was on, I would be the fightingest champion of all time. That would be my mantra, like a Bret Hart back in the day. You didn't need anybody's damn help to get over, to keep the titles. No.
And Bailey's been anything but that.
Nope. She has been anything but a fighting champion. I mean, she can't do it without her bestie. So until she gets in there against anybody, I don't care who it is, until she gets in there and beats that challenger decisively, then she will have proven it to me. But for right now, you haven't proven a damn thing to me, darling. Not a damn thing. So,
and as long as Sasha Banks is in Bailey's corner, Bailey's going to hold on to that title as long as she wants.
I read a dirt sheet saying that she could be on pace for a record-setting reign, almost like what Becky Lynch is doing on Raw. But at least Becky doesn't need
Bailey needs to prove it on her own.
Well,
no Sasha Banks, no anybody. If she wants to prove that she's a fighting champion, she needs to do it on her own.
But the thing is that the problem is that sometimes in WWE with their reigns, it doesn't necessarily have to be the length of it. A lot of the times, no matter what the circumstances is, remember what Nikki Bella, when Nikki broke the record on AJ Lee,
yep.
Her reign wasn't wasn't that glamorous. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of moments where she had her sister help her out to get to where she was.
Yep.
So honestly, I don't mind because it gets the nuclear heat. It gets the fans to get after them about the reign. You don't need the quality and the substance. I get where you guys are coming from. I totally get where you're coming from, but sometimes not every reign is going to be a fighting champion. Not every reign is going to be the greatest thing in the world. Sometimes you need chicken shit champions to get you the agenda through. So I disagree with both you guys right about now for what you just said.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
So we'll just leave it at that. We go to the main event, and it was the triple threat: Daniel Bryan versus The Miz versus King Corbin. Winner of the bout in 20 minutes and 20 seconds. It was Daniel Bryan. He wins. He gets the shot at the title at the Royal Rumble, and he got The Miz. Put him in a Miz. Try to put the figure 4 on him. Got caught into the yes lock, the label lock. Taps out, and it is over, guys. Daniel Bryan gets his shot at the Fiend in Houston at Minute Maid Park. I guess you could say necessary victory. We knew it all along it was going to be Daniel Bryan. This was a decent way to close the show. I mean, yes, the show was crap, but at least we got the right guy. At least we got the one who is the most deserving of the title shot. Anthony Florio, I give this about 2.5 stars. It's yours.
Yeah, 2.5 stars, maybe 3 for the effort. I would say second best fight of the night here. There was slowing. It was a little slow at times. The ending was a little bit rushed, but at least the right guy won. You know, Daniel Bryan. I mean, it was expected. I've been doing some, investigative reporting as I always do, and this was the plan. The plan was for Bryan to go over here, and I'm glad about that. But it's obvious that the Fiend is going to successfully defend, because I'm hearing through the grapevine that they want to have Roman, obviously, to be the one to dethrone the Fiend for the Universal Championship, and they want to do that at Mania, obviously. And there's also talks about Roman possibly winning the Royal Rumble match as well. So he is the favorite right now to win the men's Royal Rumble match. And if that's the case, then there's his out to get to the Fiend, and he'll be the one that ultimately dethrones him at WrestleMania in Tampa. So, but Bryan right now, he's going to be the placeholder, the challenger of the month, obviously. But at least there is unfinished business there. And if you thought their match in 2014 at the Royal Rumble in Pittsburgh, if you thought that was great, that near 5-star classic, who knows what could be in store this time around. So we'll see what happens. But right guy won. Match, good, solid, but not overly spectacular. MF had it right. So 2.5 to 3 stars. Nothing more to say. But Michael Bullock, though, the yes man, is moving on. And MF, this one's for you. Come on, Bullock. Yes.
Oh boy. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I know Fletch is probably like, oh gosh, right now. You've got to be bleeping kidding me. But anywho, I mean, I'll give it about 2.5 for the match here. It was solid, but not overly spectacular. I mean, yes, there were times in the match. I mean, it was slow, and it was also rushed. And let's not forget what was also missed here. It was also, we saw a lot of craziness. I mean, you had Dolph Ziggler getting involved, super kicking Daniel Bryan, trying to get the win for Corbin, and Roman Reigns made sure that wasn't going to happen there. And yeah, but at least they got the right man to go over in this match, and in Daniel Bryan, and now the Yes Man gets another shot at the Fiend Bray Wyatt for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. But I mean, it was a good way to close out what was a pretty much a throwaway show. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, it was an okay match. There's a lot of stuff that went on during it, but in the end, it did come down to just Miz and Brian, and we know the history. Every time these two met, Miz would beat Brian. Well, finally, he got his comeuppance and he beat the Miz. After all this time, starting with when they had the NXT where you have the trainers and stuff, all that time they've been feuding, and finally Daniel has come out on top. And hit the right guy won, and now we get to see Daniel and the Fiend go for the title, and that's definitely, I think, would have been something that everybody would have been really upset about if it would have been anybody other than Daniel Bryan. I mean, that he needed this moment to finish that storyline, for what the Fiend had done, keeping him out for 2 weeks while he cuts his hair and trims his beard and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, not much more I'm gonna say about it. I'll give it probably about 3 stars. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, so we're going to go to the overall review. I kind of got a feeling it's not going to be a good number, just based off what Florio and a few of the guys were saying this entire night. So, Anthony, obviously you're going to have to lead off here. So, what's the number? What's the rating? What do you got?
Well, we only really had like what, 2 good matches on this show here tonight, just about. That 6-man and when they eventually decided on this triple threat main event, to get all through it. So, and everything else, we did have some cutouts here. We did have a little bit of some nonsense here, but I'm going to give this about a 2, maybe a 3 out of 10, to be honest with you. I tell you, MF, I mean, when Smackdown first moved to Fox, we were thinking, okay, big things are in store. I mean, you had a very good first show, and then struggled after that. I mean, I really cannot remember the last time SmackDown had a really good show. I think the last really good SmackDown that we had was the night NXT invaded after the Saudi Arabia debacle back on November 1st. That was your moment in the sun. And it took NXT to do it. But you need more NXT, dude. That's all I can say. That's the only way SmackDown's ever going to be any good. But then again, I can say the same thing about Monday Night Raw as well. Only 2 good matches on this show. And honestly, I hated what they did. I mean, you promoted the triple threat match in advance. That was great. But why did you have to keep screwing around with it? Making it up as you go along. Make up your damn minds. Honestly, that was the big problem with me tonight. And that's one of the many reasons why this rating is the rating I'm giving it. That's why I'm poo-pooing on this show. And it's not because I'm a Raw guy. No. We're done with that stuff, at least for now. But as a fan of WWE in general, no, honey, no. As the Luge would say, no, honey, no. So, 6-man was great. Main event for the most part was good. But other than that, everything else was just thrown in there. We had some ridiculously short matches. I mean, that women's tag match was fine. So I'll bump it up to a 3 because you had three okay matches, but other than that, everything else was not any good, and it was a poorly produced show. It was a throwaway show, but then again, we're coming off the holiday anyway, so I'm hopeful that when we get to Hartford Monday Night on Raw, that ends up being a good show. And then when we get to Memphis for the first SmackDown of 2020, hopefully this is when we can, start to pick it up here. Now that we hit January, then we can really start pushing and hyping the Royal Rumble match. And we haven't even had any hype for the Rumble matches either. Nobody has announced their candidacy on either side. So I really don't know. So throwaway show, honestly. Only 3 good matches. So 3 out of 10. That's my rating. I'm sorry to do it to you, MF. I mean, I feel bad. It breaks my heart. But ever since they moved to Fox, I mean, we thought everything was gonna start looking up for the blue brand again after some lackluster shows on USA. But it's been business as usual. We've only had a handful of good shows, so, and haven't had really any good ones since the NXT invasion. So, sorry. 3 out of 10. Michael Bullock. SmackDown just keeps getting worse every week. I hate to say, but SmackDown's starting to get worse than Raw now all of a sudden.
Well, I hate to say this. I think it's pretty much equal to Monday Night Raw. You had that very good first SmackDown since moving to Fox, but ever since, you had that good show because of the NXT invasion, but all the other shows have been pretty much blah, if I'm going to be quite honest. And yeah, that's why Derek Ferreira has been poo-pooing all over both shows, and why I can't believe I'm saying this, but in one of his posts, I think a while ago, he actually says he wants both Raw and SmackDown to be canceled because that's how bad he feels it is, and why he's become all AEW here. And well, yeah, all I can say is, hopefully 2020 things will start to turn better, not just for SmackDown, but for Raw, because if they don't, AEW is going to be chomping at the bit to take them down. Yes, you got NXT, but everything else from WWE is just horrible. So WWE, you need to wake up and improve both Raw and SmackDown. Yes, NXT is good, but you need to do good on your other 2 shows, because AEW is chomping at the bit to take you guys down. And if I know Derek Ferreira right now, he's all AEW, and he wants to see WWE go out of business, and nothing would make him happier than to see that happen. I personally don't want to see it. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but anywho, 1.5 to 2 for me. A terrible way to end the final SmackDown, not just of 2019, but the final SmackDown of this decade. That's all. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm not going to go quite as low as the guys. I'll give it about a 4. It wasn't the best show, no, but I have to give it props for the fact that it did do some storyline progression. It did, deliver with 3 matches, and the Moment of Bliss segment was really good. It was probably the hottest segment we had on there. But the Corbin stuff just, that kind of, I think, really hurt the show a little bit. And, Ziggler stomping on that fruitcake, that didn't really help matters any. That was just kind of stupid to go that far. But then again, you guys brought up Raw as well. Raw hasn't been that great either, because you've got the Lana, Lashley, Rusev crap going on there. And the final show for them, you're going to have that wedding. Is that really going to help Raw's ratings?
Nope.
Sorry,
I don't
Sorry,
really
Anthony.
don't know.
Sorry, Anthony. I don't think you're going to have a good show next week just because of that. And they're going to probably hash it through the whole show, just like they did with Corbin tonight. So yeah, the Smackdown, yeah, not the best, not the best way to end 2019, but like I said, I'm going to give it a 4 because you did have 3 good matches and a good segment, but and a lot of storyline progression, but you also have a lot of nonsense and a lot of stupidity as well. So yeah, not much more I'm going to say. See you guys Monday, I hope.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, Dee Dee. And we're just gonna, I'm gonna give this 4 out of 10, no doubt about it. You guys are absolutely right. I really got nothing more to add. So let me just go quickly into the NWA Power, and then we'll just get on out of here for the night. We had Ricky Starks going 1-on-1 with Eddie Kingston in the NWA television title qualifying match. Ricky Starks knocked off Eddie Kingston. Then we had then after that, we had James Storm versus Ross Isaac, and it was James Storm winning by via countout. Then we had a women's match. It was Melina, Thunder Rosa, and Marty Bell versus Allison Kay, ODB, and Ashley Vox, and it was Marty Bell, Thunder Rosa, and Melina winning, and with the win, Thunder Rosa gets an opportunity to call out whoever she wanted. Well, Melina stole the moment and says that Thunder Rosa will fight ODB. Why not go after the women's champion, Allison Kay? Okay, interesting development there. Then the next week, or in the next qualifying tournament match we're going to have, it's going to be Tim Storm going 1-on-1 with Nick Aldis. Oh my goodness. What a surprise and what a match that's going to be. Then finally, our main event on the evening, the Question Mark goes 1-on-1 with Colt Cabana. The Question Mark wins the match and advances in the NWA television title tournament. So that's it, guys. So that's it for NWA Power. I'll give this about a 7 out of 10. I thought this was a good show. Solid fight. Solid show, to say the very least. And that's it. We're done for tonight, guys. So we hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And we do this all again on Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Foyo at 11 p.m. Eastern. Right now, we do not have a show on New Year's Day. We're going to enjoy that. And then come right back Thursday, I should say, for another edition of the NFL, on another NFL show as we preview Wild Card Weekend and the National Championship game. And then 1 week from tonight, right here, another edition of another edition of Cerebral Smack Talk. So there's really nothing more to say. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. And until then, for all of us here on Cerebral Smack Talk, we are out.